His laughter reached me before his words did, sharp, metallic, the kind of sound that slices through a crowded room and lands exactly where it's meant to hurt. I didn't look up at first. I didn't have to. I recognized his voice, her new husband, the bank manager. He was standing with 3 of his colleagues near the coffee station, pretending not to watch me as he spoke louder than necessary. "Some people don't know how to hold a job," he said. "No discipline, no drive, just drifting." The others chuckled, shifting awkwardly, sensing something off but too cowardly to step out of the performance. I kept my eyes on the file in front of me. Blank pages. I wasn't even reading. I just needed the stillness. The cover. Then another voice joined in. Hers. Soft. Familiar. Poisonous. "I told him he needed to get serious about life," she said. "Some people can't handle responsibility." It was the laugh after that sentence that fractured something in me. A laugh I used to know. A laugh that used to fall asleep beside me. I inhaled slowly, held it, let the sound of their mockery settle into the quietest part of my mind. I wasn't supposed to be here, not in this room, not with these people. To them, I was just a guest, a nobody, a man with no job, no title, no power. That was the beauty of it. They had no idea whose building they stood in, whose bank they managed, whose name was written on the documents locked in the vault. They had mocked me before. They thought today was no different. They didn't know this was the final day either of them would ever work here. And they had no idea why. Yet. The financial betrayal didn't happen all at once. It started quietly. Subtle withdrawals, unusual purchases, credit lines I didn't remember opening. I blamed myself at first. I was busy, distracted, thinking too far ahead and not enough about the present. She leaned into that. "You're paranoid," she whispered with concern she didn't feel. "You're stressed. You've been working too hard." And I believed her, for months, until the statements arrived, red-marked and unforgiving, showing transfers into accounts I didn't recognize, her accounts. The timing was perfect, in hindsight. 2 weeks before she left, 3 days before she met him, 1 day before she filed for divorce and walked out with a final, dismissive kiss on my cheek, a kiss that tasted like closure she didn't deserve. I told myself to let it go. Money wasn't the point. The betrayal was. The choice she made, thinking I was too passive, too trusting, too blind to ever notice, thinking I wouldn't fight back, thinking I couldn't. When she married him, a man who had once been just another mid-level manager at this very bank, I said nothing. When they posted photos together, traveling, celebrating, smiling with money she siphoned from me, I watched in silence, a controlled silence. My board thought I was being patient. I wasn't. I was calculating. Because the money she took from me was insignificant compared to the one truth she never discovered. I had already purchased the bank by then, quietly, through a holding company she didn't know existed. A move done months before she began draining my accounts, back when she still pretended to love me. She thought she had robbed a powerless man. She didn't realize she had stolen from someone who signed her new husband's paychecks. Every one of his paychecks. Every single month. And now he was laughing at me, mocking me, in my building. It almost felt poetic. Almost. I didn't respond to their laughter that day. I simply stood, closed the blank file, and walked out of the room. Not in anger, in preparation. Their voices drifted behind me, still joking, still oblivious, but I was already somewhere else mentally, somewhere colder, sharper. The financial department confirmed my suspicions by noon. The transfers she made years ago had never been closed, only rerouted. More accounts, deeper trails, quiet debt she was hiding from her husband. I didn't need this information, but it painted a clearer picture, a more satisfying one. Next, I checked internal employee logs. His performance reviews weren't good. a pattern of arrogance, mishandled accounts, a complaint filed last year that mysteriously vanished. I revived it. I requested a private audit. I didn't even have to hide my trail. No one looked high enough to see it. Then I visited HR, asking for a full breakdown of his managerial decisions this quarter. Fabricated numbers, delayed reports, missing documentation. The signs were there. I just needed them gathered in one file. One thick, damning file. The same afternoon, a security officer handed me footage from the staff lounge, him bragging about some pathetic ex of my wife who still can't keep a job. Laughter, mockery, false confidence. Every clip strengthened the stillness inside me. The stillness right before a blade drops. I printed the audit, the footage screenshots. Her bank statements from years ago, the money she took, the debt she was still hiding, the accounts with her name on them. Then I placed them all in a single envelope, neat, clean, efficient. By evening, my signature had approved his termination meeting. The board didn't question it. Why would they? I was the chairman, the true owner, the man who walked through the halls unseen because no one expected the person in power to walk without an entourage. The next morning, I returned to the bank. He was there already, polishing his tie, adjusting his smile, carrying the confidence of a man who believed he owned his space. He didn't see me enter. He didn't see the envelope in my hand. He only turned when I spoke his name. Calmly, quietly, almost gently. He blinked at me, surprised I dared approach him directly. His lips curled in that smug way insecure men often mask their fear. Yes. Do you need something? He asked. I extended the envelope. Open it, I said. He smirked, rolled his eyes, and tore the seal. The smirk didn't survive the first page. The footage, the audit, the complaint, the mismanagement. His posture wilted as he skimmed, the realization spreading across his face like slow poison. What is this? He whispered. The truth, I said. He flipped to the next pages, her old account statements, the transfers, the funds she stole from me. His confused expression cracked into something else, panic. I don't understand. You don't have to, I replied. Just read. His hands shook. He reached the final page, my signature. Chairman, owner, his employer's employer. He looked up, breath shallow. You own this bank? He stammered. I didn't nod. I didn't smile. I just let the silence answer for me. That silence broke him more effectively than any explanation. Please, he said, there must be. This can't be. It is. His voice cracked against the stillness between us. And then she walked in, my ex-wife. Her face lighting up when she saw him, until she saw me. Until she saw the envelope. And then she froze. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. The pages in his trembling hands exposed everything she thought she had buried. She whispered his name, but he couldn't look at her. Not now, not with the truth unraveling in front of him. She reached for the envelope, but I stepped back. Don't, I said quietly. Her hand dropped instantly, as if the air itself had turned sharp. What are you doing? She asked. I studied her face, the guilt behind her eyes, the silent calculation, the fear of losing everything she stole. I'm returning what you left behind, I said. What does that mean? She whispered. I handed her a single page from the envelope. Her handwriting, her signature, proof of every withdrawal she made behind my back. Her breath caught. This was years ago, she said, voice thin. Why bring it up now? Because he made a joke, I answered. She flinched. So, this is revenge? No, I said. This is clarity. I turned to her husband. You're terminated. Effective immediately. He staggered, panic pushing his words out in gasps. You can't. This is my career, my reputation, my... It was, I said. He sank into the nearest chair, broken, exposed, exactly where his arrogance had always been leading him. She looked between us, trying to piece together a defense that didn't exist. "You're ruining his life," she hissed. I met her eyes, steady, quiet, unmoved. "You ruined it," I said. "I'm just letting him see it." Her mouth opened, but no words came. The room felt colder, smaller. She reached for him. He recoiled. The first crack in their perfect facade. I turned away, leaving the envelope on the table. "You're both free to leave," I said. Not a threat, not a shout, just a dismissal. A final, clean cut. I walked out of the meeting room and down the hallway without looking back. Their voices, pleading, arguing, breaking, faded behind me like distant echoes. I didn't feel triumph. Not satisfaction, not anger, just release. The truth had weight, and I had carried it long enough. Their betrayal had shaped me, sharpened me, but it no longer defined me. I stepped into my office, the real one this time, and closed the door softly. The city stretched beneath the glass wall, indifferent and endless. I let out a long breath, not relief, just space. For the first time in years, I wasn't holding anything in. No resentment, no bitterness, no hope, just clarity. They stole from me, thinking I wouldn't see. They mocked me, thinking I wouldn't rise. They underestimated the quiet man in the corner of the room. That was their mistake, not mine. I looked at the empty chair across from my desk, a place she once sat, a place I would never allow her to sit again. I didn't need revenge. I just needed truth, and I finally had it. As I turned back to the window, the city lights flickered like distant signals in the dark. I felt nothing for them now. No anger, no love, only distance. Cold, final distance. Some people lose everything when the truth comes out. I only lost the part of myself that once cared, and that loss felt like freedom.